Hello, I'm Kimberlie Acosta. Welcome to the Native News Update. It's Friday, March 18th, and many of the stories you hear here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Identical bills were filed March 17th in the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives that, if passed, will transfer 772 acres of Olympic National Park land to the Quileutes to allow the tribe to move out of the tsunami zone. The legislation would give 280 acres at the south side of the reservation in La Push, Washington, to the tribe to develop so that it can move its school, elders center, tribal administrative offices, and some homes to higher ground. The tribe lives in the mouth of the Quileute River on the Pacific coast, and much of the village is in the flood and tsunami zones. The legislation also would transfer 492 acres at the northern part of the reservation to resolve a long-standing boundary dispute of more than 50 years with the park, which completely surrounds the reservation. Recently, the tribe suggested that some 350 to 400 people evacuate low areas of La Push after a tsunami advisory was issued following a magnitude 8.9 earthquake in Japan. The landmark court decision that upheld off-reservation hunting and fishing for Native American tribes in the ceded territory of northern Wisconsin has been updated. Both the Department of Natural Resources and tribal representatives say this update of the 1991 Voyageur Decision is needed to keep up with changing times. Great Lakes Indian Fish and Wildlife Commission Director Jim Zorn is happy to get this work out without having to go to court. DNR spokesman Quinn Williams says, in contrast to the anger on Northern Lake boat landings 25 years ago, this keeps channels open. The changes are mostly housekeeping with no impact on the quotas for fishing or hunting, but it does allow for long and short-term conservation procedures on lakes, streams, and wildlife. The Daytona-based Ross Edmonds International Motorsport Promotion has just signed a contract with Kilcare to run the Freedom 76 stock car race. The July 3rd event, the promoters said, will especially highlight drivers, mechanics, and pit crews from Black, Hispanic, Native American, and Asian minorities. Along with the 76-lap race, which will pay the winner $5,000, the all-day affair will include a motorcycle and car show, multicultural music concerts, and a 10-lap last chance dash to fill out the field of 35 compact cars that will start the feature. For more information, you can visit raymotorsportpromotions.com. The Absentee Shawnee Economic Development Authority has joined forces with Park Lease of Dallas, Texas to launch ACETA Fleet Incorporated to manage the process of sourcing, buying, financing, and leasing fleet vehicles for tribal governments, Native American-owned companies, non-tribal corporations, and government entities across the U.S. Historically, Native American business leaders have found it nearly impossible to find a trusted, experienced vehicle fleet company that delivers best performance practices and prices. ACETA Fleet, which is a 100% Native American-owned firm, takes advantage of economies of scale, offers unique pricing incentives for tribal-owned businesses, competitive financing options, low-cost lease alternatives, and a choice of virtually any make and model vehicle. Complementing their offerings is the stellar service and customer support through their alliance with Park Lease, led by David Thomas, a 30-year industry veteran. For more information, you can visit acetafleet.com. The National Congress of American Indians has announced the recipients of the organization's prestigious Indian Country Leadership Awards. Wilma Mankiller, the first female chief of the Cherokee Nation who passed away in 2010, will be recognized posthumously among the 2011 recipients. NCAI will honor her by naming the organization's fellowship program in her honor. The organization will name its fellowship program the Wilma Mankiller Fellowship Program for Tribal Policy and Governance. Founded in 1944, the National Congress of American Indians is the oldest, largest, and most representative American Indian and Alaska Native organization in the country. For more information, you can visit ncai.org. And that's the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and have a grand day.